Okay, we're here at the Social App Workshop, and we've been working all day after some talks by Facebook and Twitter and Apogee and Twilio and Heroku. And now we've got Adrian here who's been working on an app for, I think, longer than just today, right, Adrian?
Right. I actually came to this workshop today. My main motivation for coming here was to ask some questions of the Twitter representative, and he graciously answered my questions. Let me just roll back here. There's a man called Don Marty. If you want to go to Twitter, it's D Marty. And he had an idea. One of the great things about Silicon Valley and the Bay Area is I bumped into Don at a cafe, and he happened to have the one chair that was open in the entire cafe, and I hadn't seen him for like 3 years. So we're sitting talking, and he told me about an idea for a game to integrate with Twitter because he likes to use Twitter. And his game is a crime game, and he went on and on about how he doesn't like Zynga games, he dislikes Mafia Wars because of all the grinding. So his game, which is coming soon here, is called Quick Heist. It was originally called Heist, but then Microsoft was going to come out with a game called Heist, and they killed the project, but they still have the name. So Don's idea, and Abraham would like this if he's still here, I'm not sure if he was here earlier, but Don's idea is to have a minimalist game that people can play to do team building and develop trust amongst each other. That would be kind of fun, like a crime game, but very easy to play and integrating with Twitter. So I made him an offer where he would have the idea and help promote the game, and I would do everything else. So I wrote the game, and I came here today to finish off some Twitter integration. So let me just show it to you really quickly here. This is Quick Heist, and there's some original art from an artist friend of mine who's a really great animator. And if you go to register for the game, you'll notice that you can sign in with Twitter. So I'm just going to go into the standard login screen, and I'm just going to go ahead and sign in with Twitter. And it may already remember me. AlamoZ is my handle. Now I'm the administrator, so I see a screen slightly different than what a player would have. Basically, we want the game to just have a panel, player info, you're a member of a crew, you have your crew members listed, and you can invite people into your crew using direct messages on Twitter. And the way you do that is through this little thing right here, and you invite the player. And that would probably may even work for my local host, I'm not sure. So I could invite someone here right now, but we're short for time. As the administrator, if you look, you can go to scenarios, and we have a scenario editor where you can add new scenarios and you can edit existing scenarios. For example, the premier scenario is called Looting of a Nation, and it costs $600 million in game cash to enter this scenario. So no one will probably ever do it, but in history only one crew actually did in this country about 8 years ago. So we do that, so that's kind of the simulation aspect of the game to show how difficult some things really are in real life. And so this is the scenario editor where you define the parameters of the scenario and how difficult it is, things like that. So I'm going to log out here real quick and then log back in really quickly with my non-administrator account so we can see what a player would see. And I'm not going to do that with Twitter, of course, because I would have to use I only have one Twitter handle. So you have crew cache, you have game cache. What you basically do is you go into any of the crew members can decide to enter into a heist. So, for example, acquire the young Greek woman. This is a collage by an artist friend of mine in New York. So he's now the renowned contemporary artist, Jonathan Bressler. Well, he's actually well known in New York, so I'll help promote Jonathan. And so if we want to steal his painting, any of the crew members clicks enter planning stage for this heist. And if you have enough crew cash to enter the heist, you can see now that it didn't work. It says that I'm not in a heist. Oh, maybe I didn't have enough crew cash? I did. Wow, it worked a little while ago. Well, I guess it still is being developed. Let's try the penthouse jewelry job and see if we can enter that heist. Wow, it was working. Crew cash, $83,000. We should be able to enter it. This is unfortunate because I wanted to show you how you could rat on your crew. One element of the game is that when a crew is in a heist, any one of the crew members can rat out the rest of the crew, and in which case they receive all the crew cash, goes into their account, and no one knows who ratted out the crew. So this is the trust building element of the game and the team building element of the game. and I feel kind of bad about this because I've seen people get into fistfights over risk games, and I've heard of families breaking up over risk games. And when I raised my concerns with Don, he sent me a link to an article about how a woman killed her husband over a Monopoly game back in the Depression. It's like, wow, we could have blood on our hands here. One cool thing about the game is I try to incorporate actual news events and things like real oil paintings and whatnot. One cool scenario is the Rotante del Foro Central, or I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly. This is a nice object of art, big bronze sculpture at UC Berkeley, at the gate to Berkeley. So one scenario is that you steal this thing and you go melt it down for the bronze. And so I included some special events in the game. We tell the people, this job will be particularly satisfying. The police beat up your nephew during student demonstrations recently. And if you click on that link, you go to the YouTube video of the police brutalizing the students at Wheeler Hall a few months ago. So we think that this game will help educate people and incorporate current events and add a little spice, you know, to the game.
Okay, and so just so I understand here, but the Twitter part, you didn't demonstrate here because...
Well, I did demonstrate it. You can log in. What we're doing is basically two things. Let me log back.
Well, we don't have much time left, so just go ahead and just tell me. What is it?
You authenticate with Twitter, and if you have a Twitter account, if your crew members have Twitter accounts, events that occur in the game are sent to them using direct messaging. So we use the direct message mechanism to inform people about what happens with their crew. If they don't have a Twitter account, just regular email, they get an email. I'm also working on a piece with Facebook, but as you know, there are different namespaces there, and the game company Zynga actually has two different game servers for Mafia Wars. You can't play in the same Mafia Wars world if you have a Facebook account and you're using that to authenticate and someone else has Twitter. They separate them. Okay. So I think it would be cool to do something to kind of adjudicate that and come up with maybe a hash name or something to allow the game to identify different people who may have identical handles on the different platforms. So that's the next thing that I'm working on.
Okay, well, you have to let us know when you figure that out.
Great.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.